just wanted to talk about the magazines in Libby and show a few things that have changed in Libby. But I guess we might as well get started. People may join us as we go, but I thought I would show you that I have my screen. Let's see. First of all, this is what it looks like on my phone. Hopefully you're seeing my Great Lakes Digital Libraries on my iPhone Libby app. And in case you don't already know, let me go to menu here in the center. I don't know if you're following along with your own phone or anything, but you may not see these the words beneath the icons at the bottom: search, library, menu, shelf, etc. Those are new, and those are things that you can get if you go to menu. Oops. And then if you go all the way down to settings, and where is it? I think it's under the accessibility features. I think it's under there. I sent out a message with some promotional materials for the accessibility features in Libby. And you can see that I haven't even tested these. There's reduce color variation, text variation, reduce motion, reduce the vibrations, like when there's a notification. It doesn't change your phone notification settings, but anything within Libby, what they call it haptic feedback, which is like a vibrational tactile sensation. And you can change this orientation locking. I've never really even thought about that on the phone, but where is it? Somewhere in here was, well, those were the accessibility ones, but let's see. Customize navigation. Somewhere in there, though, there was the setting for showing the library and search words underneath there. But I wanted to show you that if I go back to, I'm on my menu here. So in the center, I tapped there. And if you can see, I have all 5 of the libraries, including Great Lakes Digital Libraries. I have download destination is the one I have added. Okay, so that's our newest partner. Patrons need to know about this because that's a huge expansion. I think it totals about 180,000 titles. Actually, it's more than that. I'll show you now before I go any further. I'm going to share, instead of showing my phone, I'm going to share Libby on a browser. So this is something come February 1st, you're going to have patrons who will come in with a Kindle device and ask if they can access the Great Lakes Digital Libraries. Once that date occurs, they'll no longer be able to use the Overdrive app on their Kindle. Anyone who's loaded it before that date will still have access to it. So the way that Overdrive is telling us that we should explain to people to log in using a Kindle device is to use Libby on a browser. So if you can see at the top here, this is the URL that you're going to have to direct your patrons to. So they can use the browser on their Kindle Fire, and they can go libbyapp.com/library/GLDL. And it will look just like what's on my screen here. Hopefully you're seeing it. Great Lakes Digital Libraries. It looks basically what you see on Libby on the phone, but it's just expanded to the width of your browser. And I've even switched to using this on my Chrome browser. It works great, but you can see here, I'll just show you the menu here in the center. It's all the same. And on this one, I haven't yet added the 5th library. So I'll add library. I'll go download destination. This. Then I will add my card to that. Oops, just did that. And add, oops. Add a card. This is a little different too. If you haven't logged into Libby for a few weeks, this has changed. So instead of having There was like visiting from a partner library. It doesn't have that any longer. Now it shows partner libraries, and it's very confusing. It has each one of our libraries with my name under it. So it's kind of confusing. So I have to scroll all the way down to the P's for Peter White. And that's how I log in now. So it's a little bit different. I'll click next and go back to the menu. You can see I've got all of the partner libraries there, and just like on the phone, the one that you're currently viewing has a star next to it. So if I'm looking in the download destination, that had a star next to it. So I'm looking at their collection now, and I'll go back to our collection, Great Lakes Digital, and you can see that we have a separate section here for magazines. All right, you can browse through, you can set your preferences. Sometimes I have patrons who have confusion about how this works with the preferences here. So if you wanted to do a search preference of language, if you only wanted English, because there are quite a few in there, like in Mandarin and French and things like that. So you could narrow your search down. You could availability. These are all magazines, so they're available to all of us. But if it were books, you would change that to available now versus what's checked out. So apply preferences, and says all titles. You could also, this is just everything, but this is right now defaulting to everything that is new at the top. So the Lennon-McCartney one, Star Wars, Clone Wars, this stuff all just came out today and yesterday. This People Betty White, of course, just came out, and right now I'll show you what I have checked out, and I'll show you how it works with the magazines. So if you go down here, you have your menu and then your shelf right here, bottom toward the right. Okay, so I just happen to have that People Betty White issue. So I've got that checked out, and I'll click Open Magazine. And this is just one thing I wanted to emphasize for patrons. This is extremely important, is the way you can read these in a better way. So if you can see at the bottom of the screen, this circle, click on that. That allows you to read the article and choose the text size. Hopefully that makes sense. So I'll go back again. So you've got the article, and let's find one that has some text on the page. Okay, like for example, this page, you've got that text, and if you click on the center, you get the controls, and if you were to click zoom at the top right, that's how you're able to start zooming in, but you're limited to, or at least on a phone, you're limited. This is on the computer screen, that's pretty good, but it's still awkward to have to move around like that, right? So that on a phone, you're limited to something like that. But with my eyesight, it's not good enough. So what I would do is, go back to that circle, the bottom center, click on that, and you get this. And then your settings, the bottom right, that A, click on that, and you have text scale. So you can rise that up. That's the largest it goes. And then actually, you can include accessibility sizes, and you get even more. So you can get upwards of that for your patrons who really have difficulty seeing it. Okay. Let me go back and bring this back down to where I would actually read it. Accessibility sizes, let's see, I brought it back probably around to the middle. Yeah, that's pretty good. You also have, of course, your controls over the lighting I always leave it on this. And I'll save that. So what you do is you still get the photographs from the article, and it's much more legible. I'll just show you that same thing on the phone. Let's see. Okay. Just log back in again. Screen mirroring momentarily, you'll see it. Okay. So the same thing, I'll go to my shelf and I will open up one of my magazines. And you can see that that's hard to read. I can zoom in as much as this, which is still awkward. You're sliding it around, right? Go back to what I just showed you. Oops. Same thing on the phone. Center. And suddenly you can read this like you were reading an ebook. I think that opens up a lot more possibilities for the patron. They hear magazine and they think, oh, well, I don't want to have to zoom in on the screen constantly and pan and scan and all that. So any questions at this point? Another thing that they talked about is, like, we don't have very many of them, but we have some read-along books. You're familiar with, anyone here work in the youth services, juvenile area? Anyway, we have some of those. Let me go back and let me share this. Okay, so let's say I have this Disney read-along book, and like, I'll just play it. Let's just go ahead and skip.
Even when she was little, Moana of Motunui loved the ocean.
Very hard to see on this screen, but
She also loved listening to Grandma
following
Tala's
along.
stories. Moana's favorite was about the trickster
barely see.
demigod Maui, who stole the heart of the mother.
The share isn't looking very, very much like what's on my actual phone, but it is highlighting each word as it goes in yellow. So that's another feature here for the read-alongs. Okay. Any questions about the changes in February? There is a training coming up that your staff can sign up for through Overdrive. So if you like, I will send that out to the Overdrive contact list. Okay. I think there are quite a few new staff members in the different libraries, so it'd be nice for people to see that training. It's specifically made for, I'll just show you what it looks like here on the Overdrive page. It's called a webinar. It's called How to Train Your Community on Libby. And it's just training your users on how to use Libby is an easy and effective way to increase awareness and usage of your digital collection. And it says the audience is for library staff who plan to host their own Libby trainings, or if you'd like to request a patron webinar from our team, please visit. Okay, so anyway, I'll send that out to the list. If there aren't any other questions, I guess we covered everything I was going to today. Good to see everyone. Bye.